The dynamic power of floor exercise. The flair of the pommel horse. The swing of the rings. The explosiveness of the vault. The precision of the parallel bars. And the daring of the horizontal bar. All of this and more on tonight's coverage of the men's individual event finals here at the U.S. Olympic Festival.
And welcome back once again to the St. Paul Civic Center. Tonight is our third of 4 nights of gymnastics coverage. Hello everyone, I'm Bart Connor and this is Kathy Johnson. And different from the all-around competition which we saw the other day, tonight is the apparatus finals, the best 6 in each different apparatus. And it's really in this session where we see some of the more spectacular routines, Kathy.
Well, Bart, for our top all-arounders, this is like icing on the cake. The pressure is off from the all-around competition. They're not trying to qualify for anything. So many of the gymnasts will just cut loose with some great routines. And for some of the gymnasts that didn't rank high in the all-around, this is an opportunity for them to shine and maybe even take home some medals.
So it's the men's individual apparatus finals when we come back for more gymnastics coverage here at the St. Paul Civic Center. But for right now, let's go back to our favorite gymnast, Barry Tompkins.
The parallel bar competition. Let me tell you what that's like. Go into the living room, get up on a curtain rod, do a handstand, a 1.5 off of that, land on a sofa on 2 feet, and have the wife and kids tell you how bad you did. Here's Bart Connor.
Somehow, Barry, I think you've had that experience before. Well, we are out here at the St. Paul Civic Center, and it is the 5th of 6 rotations here in the men's event finals. Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson here. Kathy, so far it's been a really strong competition.
Very, very exciting. Bill Roth off to a great start in the event final.
Bill, of course, won a gold in the team competition, also in floor exercise and vault in 2 of the earlier rotations. He has a silver in the all-around and a silver in the pommel horse. He'll be in the event finals here on parallel bars. There's Bill Roth from Temple University, really one of the more exciting young men on the men's national team. Very, very dynamic performer. We're going to get a chance to see him in the high bar where he scored a perfect 10 recently in the U.S. Championships. In fact, the first perfect score awarded in the U.S. Championships history.
Right.
This is Mark Warburton from the University of Nebraska. He's originally from Dumbarton, New Hampshire. He's coached by Jim Howard and Francis Allen there at the University of Nebraska. He already has today a gold in the pommel horse, one of his best events, and he tied for the silver on rings.
And Bart, while we have a few moments, let's talk about the special requirements on the parallel bars. What are the judges looking for?
Well, there are above bar elements and there are below bar elements. Most of the exercise, of course, is a swinging performance. We'll see some swings to handstands, some underbar work to handstands. The judges are requiring more and more underbar work, and that's one of the traditions that was started by one of the great Japanese gymnast Ken Motsu about 10 years ago, and it's really caught on. This is certainly one of Mark's best events. He has a really good, clean line, and you'll notice throughout the performance that he's very smooth with the rhythm of the exercise, and something I know you appreciate a great deal, Kathy, his form is impeccable.
Yes, it certainly was on the pommel horse when he won that gold medal earlier. Beautiful lines. Look at the straight body.
Here comes a very difficult sequence. These moves are called Healy twirls. He falls forward and does a full turn and regrasps the bar. Very clean back toss, a little bit over. He wanted to hit that into the handstand. Once again, notice the very pretty line in the handstand, and he struck that double back.
He was tied for 5th on that event at the 1990 USA Championships.
He'll be graduating this year with a degree from University of Nebraska in English. And this last part of his exercise was nicely done. Look at the clean line in the L. This is a straddled, press to a handstand, perfect position, a tuck double back. And he spots the landing nicely and hangs on to it.
Also, Bart, at the recent NCAA competition, the championships, as part of the University of Nebraska's team, they won the team competition, and he won a silver medal on this event.
Warburton had a 9.55 in yesterday's preliminary rounds, and this seemed to be a little bit cleaner than we saw him yesterday.
22 years of age, the oldest competitor here I don't know how old that makes you feel, Bart, but I'm feeling pretty old when 22 years old is the oldest competitor. 9.65.
Strong performance for Mark Warburton from the University of Nebraska.
Yeah, that's a good routine, special routine out times.
One of the other young men that we're going to see, as we mentioned at the top of the show, this is Bill Roth from Temple University. He's very outrageous in his personality as well as his gymnastics. Let's spend a little time with Bill Roth.
The statue in front of McGonigal Hall it's labeled as the gymnast. You don't see the football player or you don't see the soccer player, you see the gymnast, and I felt really good about that. Gymnastics to me is like a great job. It's like an amusement park when I walk into the gym. The high bar is like the roller coaster. The floor exercise is like the jungle gym. It's real. I love it so much because there's so much to do. My strongest point as a gymnast is my flexibility. Because I'm such a big guy, I use my flexibility a lot, and that's my strongest point, because I can do different skills that nobody else can do. Well, recently in the 1990 USA Gymnastics Championships, I scored the first 10 ever given to a male gymnast in that meet. It was a shock to me. It really was, because it was the first time I did the whole routine. And just to make the routine, I was happy about. But to score a 10, it was like the cherry on the icing of the cake. It really felt really good. I don't think I'm looking for a 10 every time I go out to compete. But deep down, I know I can get it if I try it and work hard. There you go. My roommate now at Temple is Kenny Warner, and he's a Temple cheerleader. And I help him out a lot with his gymnastic skills in order to make him perform better as a cheerleader. I feel that I'm teaching him something, and just to know that I'm teaching him something is great for me. It makes me feel great to know that I'm helping somebody out.
No question, a very exciting young man, and he'll have a lot to contribute to the U.S. national team over the next couple of years. 19-year-old Bill Roth.
That routine he did at the championships when he scored a 10 was absolutely phenomenal. It was so perfected.
This is Conrad Vorsanger from Stanford University. He's coached by Sadao Hamada and Tong Fei. Conrad also has a very nice, clean line. It's a very difficult combination, a move called a Diamondov with an extra spin. I like his style here because he's very smooth, but when he needs to be crisp and sharp in all the positions, he has it.
Pike double back, excellent dismount. One of the more difficult dismounts done off parallel bars.
Conrad is 5 feet 5, 135 pounds. He's more the typical body style of a world-class gymnast, not like Bill Roth, who's about 165 pounds. But Conrad really has a good, clean style. His handstand is straight. Notice the pop on this Stutz to handstand. Here's the pike double. It's a double back with the legs straight. Very clean form in the air. Just a couple of slight hops on the landing. He'll lose about 1/10 of a point for each small hop.
Conrad was 12th at the 1990 USA Championships, and really that's not indicative of his talent. He had such a great year the year before, competed at the World Championships for the U.S.
See what we score.
It looks as if he's really coming back into form here.
9.65 for Conrad Vorsanger.
What? Feel good about that? I'll take it.
Puts him in a tie for the lead right now.
He tied for 4th in that event last year at the festival.
And he was 4th in the all-around just a couple of days ago here, and having a fine meet in the event finals. Now this is Cheney Humphrey, who's originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico, coached by Ed Birch there. He's now at UCLA, where he's coached by Yefim Bierman and Art Sherlock.
Cheney's 5'7", 155 pounds.
And this guy's got some serious guns. Look at those arms.
Second year on the national team. He was the alternate for the 1989 World Championship team.
And if you remember from a couple of days ago, he scored a 9.85 in his last event to clinch the all-around gold. Nice opening combination. Oh, there's a tough move. That's called a front uprise to a Stutz hand. Very few gymnasts can do it that well. Now here's an interesting contrast. As opposed to Conrad Vorsanger, this exercise is a little choppy. It's a clean Stutz to handstand and a good strong tuck double back. Boy, is he powerful.
He was also fourth in the parallel bars last year at the Olympic Festival, where he was second all around.
As I mentioned, he was just a little choppy, but this is one of the stronger part of the routine. This giant back around to a straddle cut. Notice he was just a little out of alignment on this move, the cast, but he picked up beautifully. It's a back uprise to a straddle cut to an L, and he needs to freeze that in the L position. This is a Stutz, not quite exactly on top of that handstand. That'll be a slight deduction, but a clean tuck double back dismount.
Cheney Humphrey already with 2 gold medals, 1 silver and 1 bronze at this Olympic Festival.
Cheney, certainly a terrific young man. Will have a lot to contribute to the U.S. national team. He's only 19 years old. His score is at 9.65, which will also tie him for the lead. This is the 5th of 6 rotations here in the men's individual event finals. We'll be back a little later on. Back in St. Paul at the U.S. Olympic Festival, this is the parallel bar finals. Bill Roth out of Temple University getting ready to go, and he has a very exciting routine. He's not only a very huge gymnast, he's strong, but he has incredible flexibility, and you'll see that in a move called a mana, which is early in the routine.
The score he's trying to beat is a 9.65.
He scored a 9.7 in the all-around competition here. Of course, no scores carry over. We start from 0 tonight. Stutz, back toss. Now here it comes. Front uprise, right to a mana. Look at the tremendous strength as well as flexibility. That move invented by Bob Manna, one of the greats on parallel bars. This is a nice routine. He's fast when he needs to be fast, and yet he's very slow on the presses. And he rocked that tuck double back.
Bill Roth, originally from Mohegan Lake, New York, now at Temple University, coached by Fred Turoff.
We've talked about the importance of sticking those landings in the finals. He really nailed that tuck double back. Here's the mana. Notice the tremendous lift on this front uprise, and he freezes it in a very high V position, showing tremendous strength as well as flexibility. The tuck double back, decent form, but he nails that landing, and he knows it.
He was coached by his father throughout his high school career.
And now he's coached by Fred Turoff at Temple University. I believe that's going to beat the 9.65s. 9.8.
Bill Roth scores 9.80.
He very well may be off to another gold medal here at the festival.
He already has 3, the team, the floor exercise, and the vault. Strong performance for Bill Roth.
Let's go, Scott.
His challenger now will be Scott Keswick, who's out of UCLA. He's originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, where he was coached by Dusty Ritter.
He's now at UCLA, where his coaches are Art Sherlock and Yefim Furman. He's a junior with an economics major.
He was second on parallel bars at the recent USA Championships. Scott is one of those young men who uses a tremendous amount of difficulty. Very high Stutz with a lot of pop. back toss, Diamidov. Nice combination. Ooh, a little trouble on that reverse stutz, but he covered nicely.
The Pike double back dismount with a good landing. He's already won 1 silver medal tonight in the ring competition, and he has a bronze medal for the team competition.
This is a great opportunity to see an unusual angle of the parallel bars. That's the piked double backflip. You flip over twice. And of course, the trick is to stick the landing. Bill Roth nailed his. Scott took a little bit of a hop. That will be 1/10 of a point. That might be the difference right there. He also had a minor break in rhythm in the middle of that exercise.
Of course, he and his teammates placed 3rd at the NCAA competition behind Nebraska and Minnesota. Second year on the national team.
A reminder once again, ladies and gentlemen, you can get a $5 discount on closing ceremonies tickets if you purchase them here at the lobby this evening.
5th all around at the 1990 USA Championships. He won rings there at that competition.
Scott is a very intense young man.
Score for Scott Keswick, 9.
Scored a 9.65. A lot of 9.65s in the finals here on the parallel bars.
This concludes parallel bars competition.
Looks like Bill Roth is going to get the gold there for nailing his dismount. Right now, let's go back out to the hockey finals, which is Doug McLeod and Tom Reed.
Now to the high bar. Here's Bart.
Thank you, Barry Tompkins. We're getting ready for the exciting horizontal bar finals, the 6th of our 6 events here in the parallel bars. We saw Bill Roth rock that dismount, scored a 9.8. Nearly everybody else in finals got a 9.65. They all tie for the silver. The only one who didn't get a medal in the finals, Mihai Baju. Now we're ready for Mark Warburton out of University of Nebraska, who has a very exciting routine. In fact, all the gymnasts in the event finals have some pretty daring high bar routines. We're going to see some of the most outrageous gymnastic skills here tonight that we've seen in this country. Really, the level of difficulty is very high right now among the U.S. gymnasts.
He had a beautiful routine in the all-around competition, scored a 9.65. From the University of Nebraska, coached by Francis Allen, Jim Howard. It's Jim Howard lifting him up to the high bar.
One of the nice things about Mark's style is that he does the difficulty, but he does it with ease. That's very important. He doesn't look like he's struggling. One-arm giant. In a little bit tight on that Ginger. Boy, he did a beautiful job at not breaking form. Look at the jam. Notice the topping off of those inverted giant swings. That's impressive. Those are stylized points that, of course, will allow him to get a big score here. So far, this is a perfect routine.
Beautiful Stalder work. And a double layout. Oh, big step on the landing. Up until that point, everything was so clean. That's the kind of mistake you can't make in finals when every 1/10 of a point counts.
This is the release sequence from the one-arm giant swing. He goes over the top. He's going to do a backflip with a half turn. Look how close he is. Almost catches that on his chin. But he did a terrific job at pushing it away and not even breaking form. That's very tough. This is the dismount. It's a laid-out double back. It looks to me the form in the air is impeccable. He just misjudges the landing just a little bit. And, of course, that lunge will be probably about a 2/10 of a point deduction.
Really done well tonight in the finals competition. A gold on the pommel horse, 2 silvers, 1 on rings and 1 on parallel bars.
He had a great all-around competition going the other day and had trouble on his final event, the floor exercise. Gave it away.
Scored a 9.65. Good score considering that landing on the dismount.
It's a very good score, and I have a feeling we're going to see 5 more incredible scores. Next up is Cheney Humphrey out of UCLA. This is the event the other day in the all-around competition where Cheney nailed a 9.85 to win the gold.
Cheney Humphrey.
His mother thought he had too much energy when he was 9 years old, so she enrolled him in gymnastics. And it looks like he still has a lot of energy.
In fact, I think he was enrolled originally in ballet class, and they said, hey, buddy, you better try gymnastics. Watch this sequence here. He's going to do 3 release moves coming up now. Right here. There's one. Oh, he was in a little close, so he had to change the routine a little bit. There's the second one. He's really having to make up this routine right now, Kathy.
I'll say, because he usually does the second one with legs apart.
This will be interesting to see how this scores and how he holds it together, because this routine is altered right in the middle of the exercise.
And a full twisting double back dismount with a nailed landing. But as you said, Bart, with the change in the routine, it'll be interesting to see how it scores.
The crowd certainly loved it. That's one of the great things about what Chaney just did, is he changed that routine dramatically and yet didn't give it away. This is a reverse hecht. He's in a little close on that one. He was hoping to go right into a second release move. Instead, he added a giant swing and then did a second reverse hecht. This one was much better.
In fact, right in the all-around competition, he did 3 release moves.
He finished with a strong dismount, and certainly that's the last thing the judges see. And obviously, this sold the performance because he planted his feet and didn't even budge. I like this dismount. It's a full-in pike back, full twist in the laid-out position in the first flip, and then a pike back in the second flip. He does it easily.
Do it again, Ralph. All right.
All the athletes have really had a great time here, Kathy. The camaraderie among the gymnasts has really been spectacular.
Scored a 9.7 on the high bar.
Strong score. One of the great things about that is he changed that routine and yet still managed to get a great score. The crowd here, obviously, not knowing the highly technical rules, is pretty disappointed with that score.
536. Next up from Stanford University.
This is Conrad Vorsanger. We talked about big tricks. Conrad has a move that he debuted at the World Championships this past fall. And we hope he does here. It's toe on front to a regrasp. Here it comes. There it is.
That is so hard to work out of.
He's got one more release move. Did a full pirouette. Those are eagle giant swings, another thing the judges are looking for. Here's the second one. This is the Ginger. Nicely done. This is a great routine.
Actually, much better than in the all-around competition.
His dismount is 2 twists and 2 flips. There it is.
Oh, beautiful routine. Conrad Vorsanger from Larkspur, California. Scholar athlete at Stanford University.
In fact, in '89, he was the Pac-10 Athlete of the Year. This is that move. We call it a Vorsanger, toe on front in the straddle position. Look at that. Unbelievable that he caught that and then moves out of it nicely with this straddle swing and continued. This is the Ginger, back flip with a half twist, right where he wants it to be. Smooth swing out, kept good clean form. It's very difficult to hold good form when you regrasp those moves. Here's the dismount. Notice it's 2 twists and 2 flips. Both twists will be in the second flip. There it is, and then crank, 2 twists, just a slight hop. That's the only deduction I saw to that point.
Scored a 9.8.
So a 9.8 for Conrad Vorsanger on the high bar. We have 3 performers of our 6 to go as the men's high bar finals heats up. We'll be back with more men's gymnastics.
Score for Conrad Vorsanger.
Bart Conner and Kathy Johnson back here. There are 3 performers left in the men's high bar finals. Mark Booth will be up. He's from Reno, Nevada, the Reno Gymnastics Center.
Coached by Pete Miller there. He's on the junior development. 17 years of age.
Kathy, we talked about that earlier, that at the juniors, in this competition, we've had a real exciting opportunity to see some of the development of young men that are competing here with the seniors, with the big boys. This young man at only 17 years old has really good lines and nice style. Beautiful reverse hex.
For such a young gymnast, he really has nice form.
He's 5'8", which is pretty tall for a gymnast, certainly for a junior gymnast. And that long body looks nice on the high bar because his swings are long and slow and very fluid.
Beautiful stalder work there. And double layout dismount. Of course, that stuck landing, very important.
Great performance for Mark Booth. It's exciting to see that he's here in the finals with some of the best gymnasts in the world, and at 17 years old, he did a terrific job, managed to maintain terrific form. Look at the height on that reverse hex. Perfect toe point.
From University of Minnesota, Marie Roethlisberger, sitting down with our women's team.
On the dismount there, beautiful position in the laid out double back. He stuck the landing. This young man will contribute a great deal to the U.S. national team over the next couple of years. He'll be attending Stanford University starting this fall.
Scored a 9.55 on the high bar.
So we go to Bill Roth from one of our juniors, Mark Booth. Bill Roth, of course, from Temple University. Bill, as we mentioned earlier, scored a perfect 10 on the high bar at the USA Championships just about a month ago. Yesterday, the other day in the preliminary competition, he flew off the high bar on one of his new moves that he's introduced to his routine, the move invented by Mitch Gaylord called the Gaylord 2. If Bill hits this routine, he has two unbelievable release moves and a triple back for a dismount. One of the toughest routines being done. Look at the power on this gentleman. Here it comes. There it is.
Perfect. Oh, perfect. You can't do it any better than that.
And he tops off that jam. Here comes his triple. There it is, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, one step on the landing. You could see he was really trying to go for the stick.
Whew. What an exercise. He is so powerful. This is the move invented by Mitch Gaylord. He's going to do a double back over the bar with a half twist and regrasp.
Perfect distance from the bar.
That's one of the best I've ever seen. There's only a few people in the world that even attempt it, let alone do it that well. Here's the triple. Look at the height. He's about 15 feet in the air, and he flips over 3 times and takes just one short step.
9.9.
So, 9.9. The crowd has not yet seen his score. We've heard it.
There you go.
They're going to like it.
These people out there booing, I think they wanted to see a 10, but you can't get a 10 unless you stick to dismount.
Let's go, Scott!
Bill Roth obviously on a roll. He has a gold in the team, the floor exercise, the vault, and the parallel bars. That 9.9 could be the gold on the high bar unless this young man, Scott Keswick,
Originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, he's now at UCLA. He's a junior.
Scott was working on a new move in the warm-ups, a new move for him called a Kovacs. It's a double back over the bar to a regrasper. Let's see if he does it. Here it comes. There it is.
Oh, too bad. It's one of the most daring release moves done.
Let's see if we can see what happened. It's a double back over the bar. He really had a little too much power, and you'll notice, look at how close he is.
Oh, just so close.
About an inch away from regrasping that. Of course, he'll lose 0.5 of a point, and he has to continue his exercise from the point where he fell off. This is how Scott Keswick is. He is really a go-for-it kind of gymnast. He does all of the big tricks. He never holds back. There's 2 full overs, and there's a second release.
I'm surprised he was going to repeat that because he was supposed to do the Ginger after the first full over the bar. Really having problems here.
Scott, finally a light moment for Scott Keswick there. This is another terrific combination. It's a full over the bar to a backflip with a half twist, and he just pitched it out just a little bit. And once again, he missed that by about the length of his fingernails. Maybe he shouldn't have trimmed them this morning. He'll lose another half of a point for falling off, so the maximum he can score to this point will be 9-0. There's his triple. Oh,
barely gets it around. Barely pulls that triple around. Long night at the high bar for Scott Keswick.
This young man has a very bright future. As I mentioned earlier, he does all the difficulty, and that's important because he'll clean up this stuff and he'll get more consistent. He did 4 release moves he attempted today, missed a couple of them, but he finished off with a very powerful triple backflip.
But Bart, it's as we were saying at the beginning of the show, in finals, that's when you want to just throw everything. And it was new from the all-around competition. He had to give it a try.
And by the way, Bill Roth, on his high bar routine, scored a 9.9. That's a new festival record. The old record was 9.85. That, of course, was held by Lance Ringnold. He scored that last year in Oklahoma City. Score for Scott Keswick is an 8.70 for that effort on the high bar. Bill Roth will win. He has 5 golds, which ties in for Scott Johnson with the most golds in one festival. We'll be back with more gymnastics.
ESPN.
And welcome back to the St. Paul Civic Center. Bart Conner and Kathy Johnson. We'll be back to update you with all the final results in gymnastics. But for now, let's go out to the diving venue with John Neighbor and Steve McFarland. Bart Conner and Kathy Johnson back at the St. Paul Civic Center for a final wrap on men's gymnastics. There's no question that the star of the day was Bill Roth. He won 5 golds. He got the gold on floor exercise with a 9.75. A silver on the pommel horse. Mark Warburton won there. Cheney Umphrey got the gold on the rings with a 9.8. Roth then went to vault and scored a 9.65 for the gold. Then parallel bars, a 9.8 over a host of others at 9.65, and then an Olympic festival record at 9.9 on the high bar. This was a look at his performance on the floor exercise, a full twisting double back, and he nailed it, scored a 9.75 there. On the vault, he scored a 9.65 with this effort. Very powerful young man, Bill Roth. There's his trophy case for today. He ties 1984 Olympian Scott Johnson with 5 gold medals and Olympic festival record. Kathy is with our winner right now.
Thank you, Bart. And I honestly believe Bill Roth is more nervous for this interview than he was all day for the competition. You told me earlier you weren't nervous at all. How'd you feel today?
I felt really relaxed early this morning, and I knew that I was going to have a good day today.
Let's talk about the records. Did you expect coming into the Olympic Festival to go away with 2 Olympic Festival records, a 9.9 on the high bar, and you tied Scott Johnson's record for the most gold medals won in a festival?
No. Today, my attitude towards this meet was just to go in and try and place in all my finals. And it was a really big surprise, and I'm glad it happened.
Well, tremendous competition. Congratulations, Bill. And back to you, Bart.
That's the story from men's gymnastics. Join us tomorrow for our women's individual event finals featuring Brandy Johnson. Maybe she'll set some records of her own. We'll be back at the U.S. Olympic Festival.